Hello and welcome to Baecrochett. I'm Lizzie and today I'm going to show you how to create the Botanical Bralette. The written pattern is linked in the description below. This project is intended for an advanced beginner or intermediate crochet skill level. I designed this bralette in 2021 and now I would like to share this design with you. You will need yarn of your choice. Today I'm using Lion brand True Boo yarn. This is bamboo yarn, a measuring tape, a darning needle, a scissors, a 4mm crochet hook, a 4.5mm crochet hook, and beads of your choice. I'm going to be using cowrie shells and I suggest to use beads with a hole that is large enough to fit your yarn through. Okay, so for this tutorial, you will need your yarn of choice. I'm using Lion brand True Boo yarn in the color silver, and this is a lightweight yarn. I suggest using the recommended hook for your yarn. Today I'm using a 4mm crochet hook. What we're going to do to make this is we're going to measure from the bottom of your chest on one side in the middle to your nipple. So I'm going to measure now and I'll show you. Okay, take your measuring tape. You're going to measure right underneath here where your boob starts and measure from here. So that's where the 0 starts to your nipple. My nipple is around here, so I'm gonna say 2 inches. So just try to measure it as accurately as you can. So I'm gonna do 2, and yeah, so we're gonna take this measurement and we're gonna multiply it by 2. So that's 4 for me, and you will have to multiply your measurement by 2. Okay, so now that you have your measurement, I want you to remember that measurement, multiply it by 2 just as I said before. So chain the amount that corresponds to your measurement. So I'm just gonna keep chaining until I reach 4 inches, and I suggest to do these chains very tightly so that your work wouldn't be see-through once finished. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see if 21 works. Just about. So I'll stick with 21 because that's the amount I normally do for my size. So I'm going to stick with 21, and whatever amount you have, amount of chains that you have to remember that for the next cup that you're going to do. So remember that number of chains, okay? And now we're going to do our first row, and to do that you chain 2, 1, 2, and you can do these chains kind of loosely because we're going to have to work into these chains soon. So I did it kind of bigger than the rest of them. Okay, this chain 2 counts as a half double crochet. So first you're going to double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook, which is 1, 2, 3, double crochet into there, and double crochet all the way to the end of your chain into each stitch. It'll be kind of hard to go into these stitches since I told you to do it tightly, but it'll be worth it in the end. You will see. So you continue to double crochet into each stitch all the way, just like this, all the way to the end here. And once we reach here, I'll show you what to do. Okay, I've reached to the end here, but I left the last one to show you what to do. So what you're going to do now is place 2 double crochets into this last spot, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet and 2 double crochet, and this will be the tip of your bralette. Like you see how it goes, this is the tip, this will be the tip up here. So that's 2 there in that space, and now you're going to chain 1 and do 2 more into that same space. So 2 more double crochet, 1, 2, and now we're going to go into this space here and double crochet. What I like to do is leave this here, and I like to go around it so that I wouldn't have to weave it in at the end. So it's already weaved in once I go around it like this. So you double crochet into each stitch, into each single crochet, just like this, and go around that, go around this piece to cover it up. And now you're gonna double crochet all the way to the end here, and I'll show you what to do once we reach here. Okay, so now that I reached the end here, I left 2 stitches open to show you what to do. So now we're gonna double crochet into this last double crochet here, and then so that's 1 double crochet here, and then don't forget this last stitch right here. This is the half double crochet from when we started this row. So we're gonna make a half double crochet into this half double crochet here. So you're gonna yarn over and then go into this last stitch. You don't want to forget this stitch because this is very important for each row, sorry. So you make a half double crochet into this stitch. It might be a little hard to get into that stitch, so for the following rounds, what I suggest to do is make these 2 chains. So you're going to chain 2 and do them kind of loosely so that your hook can go into them in the following row. Okay, so you chain 2 for row 2 and turn your work. And now you're going to front post double crochet into this stitch here. Not this one, because this one counts as a stitch here already, because this is the half double crochet at the beginning of the row. So we're going to front post double crochet, and to do that you're going to yarn over and then push your hook down here and then back into here, and then you're going to grab your yarn, pull it through, and then double crochet like you normally would, right? So that's a front post double crochet. That's your first front post double crochet. Now you're going to back post double crochet into the next stitch, and to do that you yarn over, go from the back this time, and then to the front, and then back again around that next stitch, just like this, and then you yarn over, grab yarn, and then pull it through like that, and then you're going to double crochet like normal. I'm going to do a couple more so you could understand how to do it. So next you're going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch, front post double crochet, and then you're going to do a back post double crochet around this stitch. If I'm going too fast for you, you can always go in the settings of the video and bring down the speed so that the speed would be slower so you could understand and see better. I'm going to do a couple more just to make sure you understand what to do. So now we're going to do a front post double crochet and then a back post double crochet. Yeah, and we're going to keep alternating between front post double crochet and back post double crochet until you reach the tip of the cup. So you see how it's kind of forming this kind of ridge here and here and here. Yes, that's what we want. So next we're going to do front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet. Just like that. And you're going to continue until you reach here, the tip of the cup. And then the next stitches is front post double crochet, then back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, all the way to the tip here. And I'll show you what to do once we reach here. Okay, so now that you reach the end here, I left a couple here open to show you what to do. And what I'm gonna do now is take a look at the work, and you're gonna determine where your chain one space is. So that's right here, right? So I just did a back post double crochet there, and now I'm gonna do a front post double crochet around this one, just like this. And now there's one more stitch before the chain one space, so I'm going to do a back post double crochet around that one, just like this. And now we're at the chain one space here. So what we're going to do now is 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet all into this chain 1 space. Okay, so 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 1, and then 2 more double crochet. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. You're going to take a look at what the stitches were before you did the 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. So the last stitch was a back post double crochet here. So we're gonna mirror this side and do the same back post double crochet on that side. So we're gonna yarn over and do a back post double crochet around this stitch here, and then we're gonna do a front post double crochet around the next one, a front post double crochet. And now we're going to do a back post double crochet around the following stitch, and then a front post, and you continue just like this all the way to the end of the row. So you see how it's mirroring this side looks the same as this side, so we want to keep these both sides equal. Yeah, so the next stitch would be a back post double crochet, and then a front post double crochet, and you're going to continue alternating between front post double crochet and back post double crochet until you reach here. Okay, so now that I reached the end here, I left 2 stitches open to show you what to do. I just did a back post double crochet here, and now I'm going to do a front post double crochet around the second to last stitch. So a front post double crochet around here, and I don't want you to forget this very last small stitch here. This is your half double crochet for the beginning and end of each row. So we're gonna do a half double crochet into this last stitch, into the chain space. So you're gonna do that, or you could also go in just right here into this space here, but I like to go into this space. So you make a half double crochet here, and that is the end of row 2. As you can see, it kind of has this stretchy effect, and that's why we multiply your beginning measurement by 2, because it shrinks, and it also gives a lot of stretch 1-to-1, so it shapes to your body. So now for row 3, you're going to chain 2 loosely,
1, 2, and then you're going to turn your work, and then you're going to look at your work, and you're going to see this space here is where your half double crochet sits. So we're not going to go into this stitch because that's supposed to be half double crochet, and this stitch here looks like a back post double crochet, so we're going to back post double crochet around this stitch, and then this stitch looks like a front post double crochet because it's kind of sticking out. So we're going to back post double crochet around this one, just like this. So that's one back post double crochet, and then you're gonna front post double crochet around this next stitch, and then continue alternating just like that between back post and front post double crochet. What I need you to know is that you've got to make sure that each back post double crochet goes around a back post double crochet, and then each front post double crochet goes around a front post double crochet, always. So front post double crochet on a front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet on a back post double crochet. Once you remember that, I think everything should move smoothly. Yeah. And you're going to continue just like this, alternating between front post double crochet and back post double crochet all the way to the end here. And once we reach the tip, I'll show you what to do. Okay, so now that I reach here, I just did a back post double crochet, and now we reach the double crochets at the tip of the cup. So we're gonna front post double crochet into the next double crochet because we just did a back post, so we front post, and now we're gonna do our back post into the next one, and then we're gonna do 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet into this chain 1 space just like before. 1 and 2, and chain 1, and then 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2. So we're going to look at this side of what we did before. We did the 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and the last stitch was a back post double crochet. So we're going to back post double crochet into this next stitch so that we mirror the opposite side to make sure that they're even. And now we're going to do a front post double crochet, and then a back post, then a back post double crochet, and then a front post double crochet. So you'll know if you go wrong because you have to remember that each front post double crochet goes on top of a front post double crochet like this, and each back post double crochet goes on a back post double crochet. So you do that all the way to the end here, and I'll meet you back. Okay, now that we reached the end here, I just did a back post double crochet, and now I'm going to do a front post double crochet around the second to last stitch, and then the very last stitch you have to remember to make that a half double crochet. So into this very last chain here, sometimes it can be very hard to get into that stitch. Got it, finally. So that's a half double crochet into the very last stitch, just like that. Okay, so that's the end of row 4. So what you're going to do next is continue. You're going to repeat row 3 and then repeat row 4. So you can go back in the video and check row 3 and then do row 3 here and then row 4, and then you just continue just like that. Or you might not even need to go back because you understand how to do it. There's a pattern, so you'll see the pattern and you'll understand how to do it once you get the hang of it. So you continue making your rows until you have your desired amount of rows to fit your size and to fit your preference, depending on how much coverage you would like for your cups. And yeah, I'll meet you back once I've finished, but don't cut your yarn. We're not done yet. They will have one more thing to do once we finish these cups. Okay, so once you reach your desired amount of rows, the last row, we're going to chain one, and then we're going to be doing front post single crochets and back post single crochets. It's very similar to the front post double crochets and back post double crochet. And now we're going to look at our work, and we're going to back post single crochet around this first one here. So it's just like making a single crochet like that, but we want it to be a little tight, so you can pull it a little tightly. Each stitch has to be a little tighter than usual. So now we're doing a front post single crochet here. Pull it a little tight, not too tight, but you know, a little tighter than the regular. Now back post, pull, front post, pull, back post, pull, front post, pull. So we do front post over front post and back post over back post, and you continue just like that all the way to the end. Once we reach here, I'll show you what to do. Okay, once we reach the top, I'm just gonna front post single crochet into this last stitch right before the single crochet space, and we're just gonna single crochet once into the chain one space, yeah, and just like that. And then we're going to continue front post single crochet and back post single crochet until the very end, and you continue just like that all the way to here. I just did the last back post single crochet there, and now I'm just gonna do a little slip stitch into this space. Since we only did a chain one here and we didn't account for that half double crochet, so we just slip stitch, yeah. And you can cut your yarn now, yeah. And now you have to repeat all those steps and make a second cup. And you could always put it up to your body to make sure it fits you right, the way you would like it. And yeah. Okay, so now we're going to be creating the bottom panel, which will be a triangle for hair. So we're going to create a slip knot. Oh, and I'm also using a 4.5mm hook for this section, just because I like how it looks looser. And before I was using a 4mm hook. So we're just gonna go up 0.5mm hook size. So you're gonna create a slip knot. And now we're gonna chain 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're gonna double crochet into the first chain we made. So this one, I'm gonna make a double crochet, and then we're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna create another double crochet into the same spot. 1 double crochet into here, and now we're gonna chain 1 and then double crochet once more into that same space. Yeah, and that's the end of row 1. For the next row, we're gonna chain 1, turn work, and single crochet into the first stitch, which is this space right here. Oops. single crochet. And now we're going to create a shell. And a shell consists of 7 double crochet. So we're going to double crochet 7 times into this chain 1 space right here. So double crochet 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can slide it down just a little, and now we're going to end off this first shell with a single crochet. So we're going to single crochet into this chain 3 space, single crochet. Now we're going to do another shell, and we're going to do 7 double crochets into the last chain 1 space, which is this one. So 1, 7. Now to end off this row 2, you're going to count 3 stitches here, 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to put your stitch into your single crochet into this 3rd stitch right here. So 1, 2, and 3. So let's put a single crochet here, single crochet, and that's the end of row 2. Okay, so let's move on to row 3. And for row 3, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to turn your work, and this chain 3 counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. Normally you would do 3 chains that would represent a double crochet, but I like to do 2, so I'm doing 3 stitches here, 3 chains. And now you're going to double crochet into the single crochet space, the first stitch. Alright, and this is your first V-stitch, and a V-stitch is basically a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. So you'll hear me say V-stitch in a moment again. So now we're gonna do a foundation for your shell stitches. So there's going to be a foundation row, and then a shell stitch row, and then a foundation row, and then a shell stitch row. So it's going to continue like this. So now you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now double crochet. And now we're going to double crochet, but we're going to make 2 V stitches into this spot. So first, let's do the first V stitch into the single crochet space in the middle right here. So that's 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. So that's your first V stitch. And now we're gonna chain 3 and now create another V stitch into the same space. So double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet all into that space. So we have 1 V stitch here and 1 V stitch here, separated by a chain 3. And now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to create a V stitch into the last single crochet stitch. So it's a V stitch, you double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Oh wait, I did the wrong one. That's not the single crochet stitch. I think this one is the single crochet here. Right, got it. So you're going to do a V stitch into the last single crochet stitch. So double double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Okay, so that's the end of row 3, and it should look something like this. So let's move on to row 4. So for row 4, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, single crochet into the very first stitch, which is that last double crochet you made. So you single crochet, and now we're going to create a shell into this chain 1 space here. So the shell consists of 7 double crochets. So 1, and now you're gonna anchor this this chain 5 here onto this shell from the row below this. Okay, so we're gonna count your stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 double crochets for this shell. So we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 4th one you want to make a single crochet, and we're gonna go over and around the chains to anchor it and keep it in place. So that's 1 single crochet. And now we're gonna create another shell into the next chain 1 space. So 7 double crochets. 1. And now you're gonna single crochet into the chain 3 space, just like that. And now we're gonna create another shell into this next chain 1 space. So 7 double crochets. 1 and 7. And now we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna do a single crochet into this 4th double crochet and also around this 5 chains. Single crochet, just to keep that in place. And now we're going to create the last shell for row 5, and that's 7 double crochets. So it's 1 and 7. And now you're gonna push your work down around a little bit, and now you're gonna single crochet into the 2nd chain. So this is first one and then the 2nd one. A single crochet. Right. And that's the end of row 5. You'll start to see a pattern and you'll start to understand how to do it. You'll be able to memorize it once you get the hang of it. So now you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work and double crochet into the very first single crochet. And that counts as a V-stitch. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to create a V-stitch into this next single crochet. So V-stitch is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to create a V-stitch, chain 3, and V-stitch into this middle single crochet. So that's double crochet, 1, double crochet. So that's the first V-stitch, and now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to create the next V-stitch into that same space. So double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet all into that space. And now we're gonna chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to create a V-stitch into the single crochet, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last V-stitch into the last single crochet at the very end. So crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And that's the end of row 6. So let's look at it. Let's look at it. So what you're seeing here is a V-stitch here, 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 and a V-stitch here. So this is a foundation row, and every other row is a foundation row, just so that we can make our shells. So you'll start to see the pattern. I'll just do a couple more rows and you should get the hang of it. Okay, so for row 7, we're going to chain 1, turn work, and single crochet into the first stitch. And we're going to make a shell of 7 double crochets into the first single crochet space. So that's 1, 2, and 7. And now we're going to anchor this onto this. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 right in the middle of this shell, and we're going to do a single crochet over those chains. And now we're going to do another shell here of 7 double crochet. 1. And now we're going to do the same thing with a single crochet into the 4th stitch here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet, and anchor those chains to keep it close. And now we're gonna create 7 double crochets again. 1, and now we're just gonna create a single crochet into the chain 3 space, single crochet, and now 7 more double crochets into the next chain 1 space, and 7. And just like the other side, we're going to single crochet into the 1, 2, 3, 4th stitch here, and around those chains, 7 double crochets into chain 1 space, 1, 7, and now single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet, and the last shell will go into this last space. So 7 double crochets, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and don't forget to push down your stitches a little bit and then count 1, 2, and you're going to single crochet into that very last. This is your very last stitch. Yes, the single crochet. You don't want to forget that. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn work, double crochet into the first stitch, which is the single crochet stitch. So that's your first V. We're on a foundation row. So the first V, and now we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to create another V. So right here, V stitch into your single crochet. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to create another V stitch into the single crochet stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to create V-stitch, chain 3 V-stitch into the tip right here, into the single crochet stitch here. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, right? And now we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, V-stitch into single crochet, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, V-stitch into single crochet, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're gonna create the last V-stitch into this last single crochet at the very end. Sometimes it could be hard to see and you may forget it, but you don't want to forget that. Double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Right, so this is how it should look. And now we're going to continue. I'll do the last shell stitch row, and then I'll leave you to do the rest. So we're going to chain 1 and then single crochet into the first stitch, which is the double crochet that you just did. And now we're going to create a shell stitch of 7 double crochets into chain 1 space and 7. Now we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet, 7 double crochets into chain 1 space, and now we're going to single crochet into 1, 2, 3, 4th stitch, shell stitch of 7 double crochet, 7, single crochet into 1, 2, 3, 4th stitch, shell stitch into the chain 1 space. Now we're going to just create a single crochet into that chain 3 space, and we're going to do the same exact thing all the way to on this side until you reach the single crochet stitch. Now we reach the last V stitch, which is this space here. Create 7 double crochet, 1, and you don't want to forget your last single crochet, which would go into the second chain, which is 1, 2, so this one, last single crochet for the end of each shell row. Okay, so by now you should be getting the hang of it, and I'll leave you to do the rest of the rows. So essentially what you want to do is you're going to keep creating rows until it's the length of this, so from here to here. So you want it to be the same length as your cups, or it could be even longer. If you would like some more tummy coverage and you like this piece to cover your tummy a little more, you could still make it longer, but I suggest to make it at least the length from here to here. Okay, so now that you created your triangular bottom panel, I want you to put it flat like this, and you're gonna grab your stitch markers. You'll need a couple, and then you grab your cups, and you're gonna take a look at the exact middle here. So we want the cups to start here, right in the middle here. Make sure it's even. So we're gonna place some stitch markers around this area. You can attach your cups just like that, just like that. And now let's attach this side and this side to here. All you need to do is make sure that they are even. So you see how there's a little piece left off here? We want the same amount to be left off on this side. And now let's put in a couple more stitch markers. Let's say around here and here, just to keep it all in place and even once we're attaching it together. Okay, so I did it into this little hole here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4th hole here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4th hole here. Put one for the exact middle of these cups. Nice, that looks good. So we're gonna look at the work. This bottom panel is on the front side right now, and the back side looks like this. This is the wrong side, the right side up. So we want to make these stitches on the wrong side. Make sure that your cups, the ends of both of your cups are facing this way, 1 and 2, that way. So now to attach them together, place your work like this. We are going to create single crochet all along here while also catching this side and this side to connect them together. So firstly, if you have any excess hair left off, all you have to do is chain 1 and then let's single crochet into that same single crochet space, single crochet 2 times into this little area, and now we reach where the first stitch marker is laying. So we can take out this stitch marker, and now we're gonna push your yarn through here, the exact corner, and now we're gonna attach it to where the stitch marker was, so right here. So we're gonna single crochet while also catching both of those pieces, and now we grab the next space here, single crochet while also going into the back side. You want to kind of keep these sandwiched together evenly like this, and make sure this stitch marker is in place like that, just so that we are single crocheting evenly. So you keep it together and we continue to single crochet while also catching the stitch from behind. It doesn't have to be exactly even, but you want to try your best to make it evenly spaced, all your stitches. I'm just going into the next available spots and single crocheting, just like that. Yeah, and you keep doing that all the way to the next stitch marker. So this is the next stitch marker. Make sure it's even. Right, now I can remove this stitch marker. If you are unsure that it will be even, you could always place even more stitch markers. Like you see how I have one here, one here, one here. you could also put in one. You see how I have a stitch marker here, here, and here? You could also put a stitch marker here, 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 and here, just to make sure that everything is even. Okay, so now that we reach the middle here, I'm gonna take out this stitch marker and I'm gonna take a look at the exact middle here, which is this space right here. So I want this end, this corner, to match here. So I'm just gonna hold that in place. Move these loose ends. We'll weave those in at the end. And just single crochet like that. And you can go into this last single crochet. So now that we finished one side of the cup, you could flip it over to see how it looks. Looks good. So you're going to do the exact same thing for the opposite side. Finish this off by doing some single crochets here, because this one has some single crochets at the end here, so we want to make it even. And now is a good time to weave in all your ends. So if you turn this around, you'll see that the single crochets kind of act like, you know, when you have wire in your bra. So it's a bit of a support system here when you do single crochets. Yeah, so let's just weave in all these ends and then we'll go on to the strap. Okay, now we're gonna make these straps. So we're gonna go from the top here on one side, make a slip knot. We're gonna look at this and we're gonna determine the 3 stitches at the exact tip. So I believe it's this one, and this one. So I'm gonna slip stitch into the very first one of the 3. Slip stitch, have it on there, and now I'm gonna chain 2, and now we're gonna double crochet into that very spot, just like this, and leave that loop on your hook and do a next one just like that. And now you can pull through all 3 loops. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, go into the 3rd one and create a 3 double crochet cluster, just like that one that we just did. 1, 2, and 3, and pull through all just like that. So that's what we have here. So that's 2 3 double crochet clusters. Now you're going to turn your work like this and then slip stitch into the chain 1 space, just like that. And now we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're going to chain 2, make a 3 double crochet cluster into this chain 1 space. That's 1, chain 1, and make another 3 double crochet cluster. Turn your work, slip stitch into the chain 1 space, just like that, and do it again. Chain 2, 3 double crochet cluster. The chain 2 counts as one of those 3 double crochets. So that's 1 3 double crochet cluster, and now chain 1 and another 3 double crochet cluster into that chain 1 space, and you're just going to continue doing that until you have a long strap. Once you make this long enough, you could weave it through this little hole here on either side, and you can create different styles depending on how you tie your bralette. And I would suggest to make it a little longer than you would normally make straps for bralette, just to make sure you have some room to experiment with different type of ways to tie it. So you're going to keep continuing just like how I did here, and do the same exact thing on the other side, and I'll meet you back once we're finished. And then the very last step would be adding your beads, and I'll show you how to do that once I meet you back. Okay, I'm finished my straps, and these are all the straps you would need. So now let's get into adding your beads. So I'm going to be using these cowrie shells. So I'm going to put one on either end of these straps. So let's work with these. And you have your long ends, so you have enough room to add these on. You're going to take your crochet needle, place your needle on the end piece of your yarn, and also through your bead. And you're just gonna go through this hole, and you can go back inside your shell and back through that hole. That seems sturdy enough, or if you want it to be sturdier, you can go once more back through the hole once more. And now you can tie your yarn. So you could grab any of these here, go through, and then tie a knot, a simple knot. And you could tie one more just to make sure it doesn't come undone. And that's it. Now you're gonna weave this end in, and that's it. That's how you add your bead, and that's it. That's how you add your bead onto your end of your strap. And now you do the exact same thing for the other side. So I'll leave that to you, and now I will show you how to add it to your bottom panel. So down here, from here to here, place your work on the right side. I'm gonna start from this side here. You're gonna count. So I have 16 shells on the outer edges, so I'm gonna need 16 beads. Now we're gonna place your beads this way into the yarn and onto your needle. Not this way, not this way. We want it to be facing you. So you do that for each and every one of them. Push all your beads down a bit onto your yarn so you have some yarn to work with. You can push them down a bit. You could count them once more just to make sure you have the right amount. Now you're going to make a slip knot with your yarn. Slip knot. Now we're going to attach the yarn at the very tip here. So I'm going to slip stitch into the corner here. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch along this edge straight down to here and back to here. And once we're slip stitching, we're going to let go a bead on the hook, and I'll show you how to do it. So slip stitch until you're in the very middle of your shell. So that's 1 2 3 4. It should be the 4th stitch, like that. Slip stitch. Now that we're in the 4th stitch, we're gonna bring down one bead, bring it straight down to your hook. Make sure it's kind of tight, and then we're gonna chain one, just like that. Yeah, and now we're gonna continue to slip stitch into every stitch, also into that single crochet stitch, and we're gonna count again. 1 2 3 4. So now that we're in the middle of this shell, bring down another bead, chain 1, and now we're going to continue to slip stitch all the way until you have to let go a new bead. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're in the middle of this shell, and we're going to bring down the shell, chain 1. You continue just like that all the way around here to the end on this side.